Well, today was a day which started off well and just kind of got worse as it went on. Um, so I just started off at Lake Orid this morning where I camped yesterday, and it was really nice campsite. But this morning I had children running around the tent and screaming and playing basketball and people playing music and all sorts of stuff. And it made me remember why I don't like campsites. um, but it was alright. I got up, um, around 7:30 and started packing up and was able to go and have breakfast right on the banks of the lake, which was really nice. And just had a coffee and a bit of a slow start to the day. After a big one yesterday, I didn't have too far to go today. Because it was 150 k's to Tirana, and I knew I wasn't going to do that today. I didn't want to, so I had reconciled with myself that it would be a bit of a shorter day, of maybe 80 or 90 k's. So I didn't have a big rush in the morning, and had a bit of a chat with the Swiss guy who was staying there with his family. Him and his wife and three young kids, and they've got a van with like a double decker like mattress setup going on, which is pretty cool. And he had lots of questions about my bike and my trip and stuff, so it was cool to chat to him about that, and I think maybe fuel some of the desire in him to maybe do something similar and maybe take his family as well. Um, but I set out not too long after that in a pretty good mood and was heading towards the border, crossing with to cross back into Albania. And I went past a little cafe on the edge of the lake, and I knew that was going to be the last spot for me to enjoy the lake before crossing back into Albania. So I ended up doing a U-turn, went back, sat down and ordered a double espresso, which was really good, and the owner was really nice, and he actually gave me some peaches off the tree. And as I was leaving and I was paying, he noticed that I had a few Macedonian like diners left over, which is their currency, and I had told him that I was crossing back into the border, so he was happy to exchange those for euros for me, which was really good. So that solved that problem. And then from there it was like quite a steep hill into the border crossing. But I knew that was coming up, so I was prepared for it, and I was very well caffeinated at this point. I had probably 4 shots of coffee already, and it was midday. So I conquered that hill without too many problems and got to the border crossing, and there was quite a long line of cars which I lined up in for quite a while before eventually the one of the customs officers came out to me, and he was like confused and also like seemed like a bit annoyed, and he's like, "Why are you lining up? You have a bike, you don't need to line up." And then he just like told me to go to the front of the queue, which I felt a bit weird about because everyone else was waiting, and I like kind of pushed in front of a few people and went through, which didn't seem really fair, but the officer told me to do it, so that was that. And I was having some issues with my navigation app Komoot, which even though I had downloaded the route, it said that I hadn't, so I wasn't really sure how to fix that without any internet. So crossed over the border and plugged in the Albanian SIM card that Tim had given me, and sort of got it working, but sort of didn't. But anyway, the map loaded after that, and I was able to continue. And then I got to the next main town and had lunch, which I ended up getting a pizza, and the pizza was €3, and it was quite big, so it was just so it was almost unfair how cheap it was, really. And there was a few kids around, and they were really excited to talk to me, and I had a quick chat with them, but they didn't speak much English. I didn't speak much Albanian, unfortunately. But yeah, nice to have that interaction again. And then I set off again, and then at this point the route kind of took me onto the highway, and that's when the day just started getting worse. Up until this point, everything had been pretty good, I would say. But yeah, I got onto the highway, and then it was pretty much the whole rest of the day, the next, I don't know, 50 kilometers or something, was just all on the highway. Lots and lots and lots of traffic, lots of trucks, lots of close calls where they were coming, within a meter or half a meter of hitting me. And pretty much constantly people coming in the other direction were like swerving into my lane to overtake other cars, and I had to basically swerve off the road a number of times because the cars were driving straight at me and I had no room at all. Yeah, there was no shoulder on the road whatsoever, so I was completely exposed, and it just felt quite unsafe. I turned on my rear light for the first time in a while. I don't usually have it on, even when riding on roads, because the battery doesn't last forever, and I want to try and conserve it. But it seemed like a good time to put it on, and I just spent the next several hours just in a state of stress and anxiety. And I'm not sure if that was because I had too much coffee or because I was riding on a highway with lots of trucks and crazy drivers, and I think it was probably a combination of the two. So I think tomorrow I won't have as much coffee, and hopefully there won't be as many cars and there won't be as much highway, but I'm not sure, because I think there's some cats eating my shoes. Stop that. I think from this point to Tirana we'll be on the highway as well, so I don't know, it might be worth trying to start a bit earlier tomorrow, or I don't know, I just hope I don't have to do it for too much longer, because it was not very much fun today. It was not fun at all. But anyway, I found this really great little campsite just off the highway, actually, at around the 90k mark or so, which is perfect, and it's only €5 to pitch my tent. Nice hot shower, which was a nice surprise compared to last night, which was a cold shower. There's a washing machine, so I can wash all my dirty clothes. And really cheap beer. This beer is €1.50. So enjoying these. And just about, I don't know, half an hour ago, two other German bike packers showed up. They have exactly the same bike, exactly the same setup as each other. Classic Germans. And they've been doing a trip the last 3 weeks, pretty similar to what Tim was doing, actually, from Austria to Lake Ohrid. They were also there last night, but they went a full clockwise loop around the lake before coming here. So cool to have some other bike travelers here. They're going to Tirana tomorrow, and they're going to fly home from there, so maybe I'll ask them if they want to ride to Tirana tomorrow together. That could be cool. But otherwise, I'm just going to get some dinner at the restaurant now. Might be pizza again. Get to Tirana tomorrow. But just while I was sitting around before I started applying for my Turkish visa, which looks like it'll be fairly easy, straightforward. It'll take just a couple of days to process. It's $60, which I guess is about 90 Australian, which is expensive, but I think worth it. It's a 3-month visa, so I won't stay there that long, but nice to have options. And so that's exciting. I calculated from where I am now to Athens, where I'll catch the ferry to Turkey, is just over 1,000 kilometers. So basically, Turkey is in the headlights. I can see the end of this trip, and that's pretty exciting. I can't really fathom that I've come this far, and I'm kind of looking forward to this segment of the trip finishing and trying something new. But I'm also really looking forward to the next couple of weeks of riding through Albania, Greece, Turkey, and maybe Georgia. We'll see. But yeah, it's coming to an end. I can see the end in my sights, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's it for today. Bye.